it going, guys? Today I'm going to show you what it's like to drive the final version of the Aventador, the Aventador Ultimae. Essentially based on the SVJ platform, it's kind of a touring rendition of the SVJ, like a SVJ in an Armani suit or a GT3 Touring without the wing. It even makes more power than the track-focused SVJ. It's powered by a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12, making 769 horsepower and 531 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 happens in a ridiculous 2.6 seconds thanks to its all-wheel drive and its absolutely brutal single-clutch ISR gearbox. The looks of the Ultimae are insane, and it's very limited as well. 350 coupes and 250 roadsters, making this the rarest version of the Aventador made to date. It's got a very similar front end to the Aventador S, a bit more subdued, if you can call it that, compared to the SVJ. But if we come around to the side of the Aventador Ultimae, you'll notice it's got that absolutely massive intake borrowed straight from the SVJ to feed that naturally aspirated V12. Now, let's go ahead and hop inside the interior. I can't believe it, but this is the 9th version of the Aventador, with the Roadster being the 10th. And over the years, the driving experience has changed and improved. The interior hasn't changed all that much. We do have these gorgeous seats with contrasted white. I like the Y accents right here. It also says Ultimae. Nice yellow accented seatbelts as well. Look at all the carbon fiber on the doors. We don't actually have door handles. We have these straps right here and a little latch down here. Let's go ahead and climb on inside. We'll go ahead and shut this door. It is very tight inside the cockpit. I'm not even that tall, but my head is effectively touching the roof. Visibility in here is kind of comical, but this car is not about that. You can see through that rear glass into that naturally aspirated V12, a tiny bit of space behind the seats, but not so much. Right here, you've got all of your different driving controls to put it into reverse, manual mode for the gearbox. One of my favorite parts about the car is this fighter jet style flip-up switch. Let's go ahead and turn the Aventador on. Fire up that naturally aspirated V12. We've got a fully digital instrument cluster right here with customizable driving modes that are changeable at this panel right here. Strada mode for street, sport, sportier driving experience. The best mode, Corsa mode. And now we've got a new mode called Ego mode, which effectively is a customizable mode where you can change it to be whatever you want. Ego being my. In Corsa mode, we've got this awesome horizontally kind of rainbow style layout, for lack of a better word, that I absolutely love. Massive paddles mounted behind the steering wheel. I'm not a huge fan of the way the wheel looks. This airbag is a little bit awkward, but it is a pretty darn cool looking interior. We've got a digital display right here. The graphics are definitely not 2023-esque, but the interior is going to improve a lot for the next generation car, the Revuelto. We've got a front lift button right here, window controls as well, climate controls down below. But let's take this thing out for a drive and see what it's like. All right, behind the wheel of the Aventador Ultimae now, and I've taken it into a neighborhood to show you the negatives of the driving experience first, and then we'll take it out to more open roads and show you what this thing is all about. So right now I'm in Strada mode. This car features that legendary single clutch ISR gearbox. Now at the time when this car came out in 2011, it was state-of-the-art technology. It was fast shifting and it was a very lightweight gearbox. But as time has progressed, the double clutch transmission has taken over and has proven itself to be a much more drivable and faster shifting transmission in every regard. Around town, it's easier, and on the track, it's better as well. Now, flat out, full throttle shifts, this gearbox is absolutely insane. But for around town driving, it kind of feels like you're driving a manual transmission for the first time, or your friend is learning and he's kind of jerking you back and forth. And then the gear shifts are a little slower than you'd like, and you're not quite sure whether the car is stalling or braking. The good news is it's got multiple different driving modes, and it gets cooler and more fun as you progress through those modes. So if we go over into sport mode, that'll make those gear shifts a little bit faster. Open up the exhaust valves, although this car has a aftermarket IP exhaust, so definitely don't need to be opening up any valves whatsoever. And then my favorite mode is Corsa mode right here. It also gives you a different instrument cluster layout as well. You can also go into Ego mode and customize it to your liking. Now we'll go ahead and put it into manual by clicking that M there. That'll activate these paddles. so that it won't automatically upshift for you. As you can see, the visibility out of here is not the best. It's definitely a very intimidating car to drive around because it's so wide and because, well, in this case, this is $1 million car, but because of that gearbox, you never really know quite what your back is gonna do. Are you gonna get kicked in the back and then all of a sudden, you didn't see a curb on the side of you? It's definitely a crazy experience, so to speak. But if you want something to take out once or twice on the weekends, and you have a pre-planned route and it's wider roads, this thing is absolutely insane. I mean, that was literally 10% throttle, and it already sounds like that. The downshifts in this car are just next level. Let's go ahead and put the front lift up, which is activated right here. It actually goes pretty quickly, which is a nice feature to have in a car with a low front end and an expensive carbon fiber front bumper. I love that it has a dedicated button. McLaren absolutely needs to do that in their cars. Go ahead and lower this down. I mean, it doesn't get much better sounding than that. This V12 is just nuts. Oh my God. I mean, name another car that sounds like that. The Aventador sounds like the Aventador. It's got such a unique tone to it. And the awesome part is, when they came out with the SVJ, it actually didn't sound quite as good as the SV, but aftermarket solutions like IPE and Gentani have opened up the exhaust sound in this car, and it sounds absolutely epic. Now, the infotainment screen while we're stopped at this traffic light, it's definitely not the best. The graphics are hilarious for $1 million car. I mean, it's basically black and white. It looks like something out of, actually, my 2001 BMW M5 had similar graphics. And you can pick those up for 20, 30 grand, not $1 million bucks. That's pretty hilarious. Now, some of the buttons are a bit plasticky for $1 million car as well. I feel like they could have done a better job, but this is essentially an identical interior to what it started life as back in the day in 2011. We do have more Alcantara. I love the contrasted little Ys embossed there in the dash. The white accents look amazing. The carbon fiber doors are a sight to see, and this little strap here instead of a handle is just such a cool feature. And that dash is much improved from the first generation Aventador. All right, here we go. I mean, are you kidding me? Oh my God. Yeah, this thing is freaking insane. All right, we're gonna attempt to turn around here. Check out that turning radius. It does have rear axle steering, but even still, the turning radius is terrible. Put it into reverse here. We also have actually a decent backup camera. I'll give them that. They've done a much better job. Wow, listen to that gearbox chattering. It does not like reverse. But they did a pretty darn good job actually with that backup camera. You can see well, because otherwise you are screwed. You can't see out of the back of this car, or really any side of this car whatsoever, without any sort of electronics help. With an 8,700 RPM redline, it's actually almost hard to rev it out to redline because you feel like you want to shift, but it's not ready yet. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.